Okay, part two. So we have this idea that the Battle of the Giants, or Battle with the Giants, is a metaphor for the people of Pergamon against the Gauls, the people who were trying to settle, and they eventually did settle in a territory called Galatia. All right, okay, okay. Why did I do a part two? Because we haven't even looked at the genius of this structure and the sculptures that go around it. So here we are seeing the battle between the gods and the giants raging. Now remember, these would have been brightly painted and much more realistic. Obviously, they would have had faces and body parts. The faces were systematically destroyed when worship of these gods was seen as illegal. The way that we're supposed to differentiate the gods versus the giants is that the gods are going to be clothed and the giants are going to be nude, and most of the time they are going to be the losing participant in whatever kind of conflict as you walk around the altar itself. So here we see these two giants, and you can see he's falling to his knees, and this god here is about to slash his throat or bash his head in or something. And then this giant here, look at, he's got these serpent legs. Whoa, crazy, right? And then he's wrestling with some kind of a beast up here as he falls to the ground. The drama of this I want to highlight in your next work of art. This is the official work of art. This is Athena attacking the giants. That's the title of this panel series, and it ran across the backside of the Pergamon altar, the altar of Zeus. Here is Athena. Now again, her face has been removed to take away her power. We see that she is in the middle of a battle, and she had her helmet, she had her shield, typical Athena going on, right? And then she's grasped this giant by his hair, and he's reaching to get loose. Look at, he's a winged giant. He's got these beautiful wings, and he's fallen to the ground. He's trying to lift himself up, but she's way too strong. And look at, there's some kind of a serpent that's wound around his right leg, and it's going to rise up and bite him in the chest. And he struggles as she's about to whack him in the head. Below, coming from the ground, is the giant's mother. What? What? Who? Huh? The mother of all the giants was the Titan. Her name was Gaia. Gaia. Gaia was the mother of the giants, and she is also a mother earth god. So she's rising out of earth. She rises out of earth just in time to see one of her children being slaughtered by Athena. And we know what's going to happen because the other figure here with these wings and about to bestow this wreath on her head, that's Nike. That's Nike, goddess of victory. So Nike spreads her wings and flies up to give Athena the crown of victory because she's going to kill this giant. And the giant's mother, Gaia, watches helplessly as she's straining to come out of the earth to save her son. Oh, wow. Okay. This scene, it's a battle scene. We've seen battle scenes, right? The metapiece of the Parthenon. What makes this so different is what? I'll tell you. The drama. Can you write that down, please? Hellenistic equals drama. And I'm sorry if I yelled at you. I'm not sorry I yelled. It's dramatic. Drama, drama, drama. The Hellenistic is about bringing up all of this drama. Miss Cortez, you see the word. Where you see it? Think about what we're experiencing. We see a goddess about to kill a giant, and his mother watches helplessly. This isn't just a battle like Lapis versus centaurs. I pull back. I thrust this way. Oh, you're up, I'm down. No, it isn't that stagnant classical perfection. Instead, there is this heat of the moment in which Athena is just, and the mother is going, ah! Remember in art, anytime you see a mouth open, there's a sound coming out? I wish we had Athena's face, but we don't. But we do have his face. And he's as he's trying to beg for life. Look at here, Gaia. We don't have her face, but look at those eyebrows. They're arched in a way like, my baby. And she's reaching forward helplessly. I know if you already saw it. The composition of this piece also adds to the drama. So write this next thing down. Diagonal lines. Hellenistic equals drama. Hellenistic equals diagonal lines. In terms of composition for art in the Hellenistic, we see an overwhelming use of diagonal lines. And I'm not just saying like everything's line work or everything goes off in these perspective lines. No. Whereas the classical would prefer a balance, and that balance could be represented by a balanced horizontal or vertical. The diagonals of the Hellenistic, the craziness of the Hellenistic, make this more dramatic. I don't think I'm explaining this as well as I want to. One moment. I'm back. So let's see this water bottle. Now, if you've taken my other classes, you might know this demonstration. Here's a water bottle. It's got water in it. Now, I also have a glass. I'm going to pour water into that glass. Okay. Now, if I keep it at a diagonal, am I about to pour the water in, or have I finished pouring the water in? Oh, hi, you've come upon me. Oh, Miss Cortez, were you about to pour some water in? Oh, Miss Cortez, were you about to pour some water in? Or had you just finished pouring some water in? You don't know. Because the diagonal doesn't tell you. The diagonal line is ambiguous. Can you write that down? Ambiguous. The diagonal line can rise or fall. The water bottle could be going down, or it could be going up. A diagonal line is not stable. A diagonal line is unstable, or unstable. So write that down. Diagonal line is unstable. Diagonal line is ambiguous. It's never stopping. It's forever threatening to rise or to fall. This is related to the Hellenistic world because in a lot of the compositions we see during this period, we see lots of diagonal lines. Let's go back to Athena. Here. Do you see the diagonal lines now? The diagonal line of his body makes us and our eye read it as he's collapsing, but he's also trying or struggling to rise up. Look at the diagonal line of Gaia reaching. Has she extended and touched Athena and is pulling back? Or is she about to touch Athena? Here we have Nike shooting forward, about to put that wreath on Athena's head. The diagonal line helps to give us a sense of movement. And that's another thing, write that down. Diagonal line implies motion, movement. Vertical line, that's not going anywhere, right? Oh, your water bottle is safe on the table. Ah, your water bottle's about to fall. So a diagonal line implies motion. And that's what we see here with Nike, rising up. So visually, our eye doesn't have a place to rest. Everything is ambiguous. Everything is in motion. And it plays across the entire altar. Here she is. That's what we were looking at. But check it out. Look at all of these diagonal lines as they move around the altarpiece. Oh. Because I love this piece so much, I just want to show you a few more details. Look at this one here. We have a giant. Look at his serpent legs. And he's being, his head is being crushed to death by this horned lion beast. We see a god with his sandal holding down his legs while the animal eats his flesh. Here's this woman here. Look at how she moves forward. Look at those diagonal lines. Look at even the drapery has diagonal lines. Everything is in motion. There's wind whipping by. And then she's got this urn filled with snakes, and she's about to bash it on this giant. He's going to be writhing in snakes. Look at this. Here we're going up the stairs, and we see the giants trying to run away, and they're falling down the staircase. Come on. Talk about drama. This giant is occupying the same space as us. As you stand on that stair, you look over, the giant has fallen on that same stair. So in the Hellenistic, we see an increase in drama. We see an increase in diagonal lines. And this is our last piece. Activation of space. I've been saying that word a lot, haven't I? In the Hellenistic period, we see an increase in the activation of space. Why? Because it's dramatic. It all connects with each other, right? So Hellenistic characteristics. I was silent because I was hoping that you would say them out loud. You want to try it again? Hellenistic characteristics. Drama. Diagonal lines. Activation of space. Look at here, this one. This one's called the goddess with the cloak, or the goddess with the jacket, because the way that her clothing is wrapping around her, it looks like she's wearing some kind of a jacket. But she's got a lion, and she's sicked her lion on this giant, and his fleshy forearm is gonna get crushed under this skull, or under this lion's bite. Okay. One more thing to add to this before we leave the Pergamon altar. So you see this drapery? See how those diagonal lines, they imply motion, right? And they create this kind of whipping wind. Well, this is a very common thing that we see in Hellenistic art. Look at this gorgeous bronze statuette. Isn't she beautiful? This bronze statuette is a woman who has this drape, and she's twisting in this beautiful dance. Do you see the diagonal lines that imply the hiding and revealing of her body? It's very similar to what we see in the goddess with the jacket. And then look at this one. Okay, here we go. This is a portrait bust of, or a bust of a goddess, or we're not sure. It's just called marble head of a woman, but most likely some kind of a goddess. But you see what's happening here? So she's got this big mop of curls that probably were coiled and then in a braid and then puffed up to the front. And then she has a veil over it, but that veil is being whipped by the wind. See that? So is the veil over her, is it falling back or is it coming forward to obscure her, like the wind is going whoosh, whipping in her face? Diagonal lines, ambiguousness, drama. The Legion of Honor has this adorable little dancer from the Hellenistic. Again, look at just the line of her body and the line of her arm at the diagonals. She's not going to stay in this position. She's in motion, unlike if she was just like this, where she would be stagnant, static, stable. What are you thinking so far about the Hellenistic?